Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we'll be discussing about the process of real estate company formation in UAE. For the same, we have our founder, Mr. Heyman Katyal. Having an experience of 8 years in this market, he'll be the right person for guiding us through. UAE being the booming market for real estate, there are a lot of inquiries coming in for the same. So we'll be catering to all those queries in this session. So let's get started. Today I have a lot of questions for you. The very first question, we have analyzed that a lot of people are coming in to set up their business for real estate company. But when we dive in through, we realize that their basic idea is to either register those properties under their company name or either go ahead and register them under their individual name. So what's your take on that?
Okay, let me reconfirm the question from you, Alina. So basically you are saying that you are receiving a lot of inquiries in which actually the client wants to just register his own property under his company name, which he is considering as a real estate business, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll answer that question. Actually, the clients are really confused because when they're buying their properties, they have two options. Either to register that particular property under their individual name or registering that property under company name. When they are registering under their company name, they are considering it as a real estate business. But actually that is not the case. If you are just registering your property under your company name, that can be any kind of business. You can put under real estate consultancy, you can put under self property management. So that is not a typical real estate business. That's a portfolio management of your own property.
With that, let's move ahead. People are confused a lot about various options available for registering their real estate company in UAE.
Well, Alina, there are many options in which you can form your company or real estate company in UAE. We'll be discussing the three major options which clients are using mostly. The first is Dubai mainland. So forming a Dubai mainland company is a straightforward process. I'll be telling you point by point how we can form a Dubai mainland real estate company. The first thing which we have to do is, of course, documentation. The documentations are very simple. We just need a passport copy and a passport size picture of the shareholders, all the shareholders. Then the first procedure is that we have to book the trade name, the technical thing which is called actually your company name. So we call it a trade name. So first of all, that is the first thing which we have to do. It can be Arabic name or an English name. The second thing in the process is we have to do initial approval. So all the shareholders which are going to be in the license have to take an initial approval, which is just a process level. It's not something difficult or a super lengthy process. It's a straightforward process, but we have to do for all the shareholders. Then the third thing is we have to do memorandum of association, which is an MOA signing for all the shareholders. MOA is basically which is possible in every country, the same law that in MOA we will be defining all the powers of the shareholders, what they can do basically in the company, their shareholding structures, their shareholding percentage, their share capital, everything will be in the MOA. So I'll reconfirm again the three steps which I just told. First is trade name, which is booked in 5 minutes if you have the name ready. Then we have initial approval, which is basically on the shareholders, which also takes hardly 1 hour to be received. Then we have MOA signing, which is by all the shareholders. I want to make sure one point here that there is a misconception about mainland companies being you have to go government centers and do a hell lot of stuff to do the MOA signing or all these procedures. That's wrong. You can do all this process online. You are not supposed to be here in Dubai, UAE to do this process. So after MOA, we have to provide the Ijari, which is your office space. Now you have two options. Either you can go for a virtual office or you can go for a proper office. In case you are going for a proper office, you need to provide us with the Ijari. And if you are going for a virtual office, then also you have to provide Ijari, but actually it's not a physical office. Now, quote unquote, there is a very important thing here which you are already aware that as Vanguard we have our own co-working space, our own business centers. So if you're looking for a space or an Ijari, we can help you with that. Now your trade name is done, your initial approval is done, your MOA is done, and we have issued you the Ijari as well. Now the last part is, which is also by Vanguard, is external approval. So in case of a real estate company, we have to take an RERA approval, which will cost you 5,500. It's also an easy process. We have to just upload shareholder documents and the initial approval on the RERA portal, and we will get the approval from RERA within 24 hours. So with this all, Alina, we are ready to issue the license for the customers. We have done all the procedures. Now it's just we will pay the payment voucher and you have your license.
Okay, so that was all about mainland, but a lot of people take up a free zone license. Free zone being cost effective, why one should opt for a mainland license?
Well, there is always an option to go for a free zone, but you really have to understand what is right as per your business, what are the pros and cons for the mainland and free zone in terms of a real estate company. So putting that into the perspective, a mainland license can work for all the developers, for primary market selling, for secondary market selling. But when it comes to the free zones, specifically Dubai free zones, if you form a Dubai free zone company, you will not be issued with a BRN card, which is broker registration card. So if you are going to just sell in the secondary market and you don't need to tie up with the developers like Damak, Danube, Shobha, all these developers, then you can go on and form a free zone company for certain activities. Like I mentioned, if you just want to register your properties for a real estate consultancy, you can form a free zone company. But if you are going to set up for buying and selling brokerage, then definitely for that you need to tie up with the brokers, with developers, which are Damak and Danube and MR, all these. In that case, you need to take a mainland license only, because the free zone licenses are not supposed to provide you with BRN card, and the developers will never onboard you. So you will not be able to do your activities. So in that case, go for mainland. So if you want to form a real estate company in free zone as well, that's perfectly fine. But you have to really know what activity you are choosing, then only you can go for free zone. So if you are going for buying and selling brokerage, if you are going for supervision of property management in property business, then you cannot go for free zone, because free zone you can register your properties, you can expand your mainland company, which is for buying and selling or self property management, into a free zone branch, but specific activities only.
Earlier you mentioned about BRN. A lot of clients are confused between what is BRN and ORN. So if you could just elaborate on that.
Sure. So as I mentioned, that if you want to do a real estate business with developers, which is really buying and selling of properties of developers in the primary market. So secondary market, you can sell to anyone. You don't need a developer for that. But for primary market, you have to work with developers. So in that case, if you are a free zone company, you will get an ORN, but you will not get a BRN, which is broker register number. So in that case, you really need to be a mainland company. In that case, you will get both BRN and ORN with the right activity, and you will be onboarded by all the developers. But in case of the free zone, you will have the same activity, but you will not get a BRN number. So that will make you not possible for you to be onboarded by the developers. So that's a very tricky thing, a very technical thing, which most of the clients are not aware about, and they are forming a free zone company. Eventually, they are not able to do their business because they will not be onboarded by the developers.
So this was about Dubai free zone. But another cost-effective option is Sharjah. And a lot of projects are upcoming in Sharjah. So what do you recommend about Sharjah free zones?
Well, Alina, that's completely an investor's call. You can form your company in Sharjah as well. But saying that, if you form your company in Sharjah free zone or Sharjah mainland, you will be able to sell Sharjah properties, not Dubai properties. So if the investor is well versed about the upcoming projects, as you mentioned, which are coming in Sharjah or Northern Emirates, then you can go on and form your company in Sharjah Emirates, and you can sell the properties there. But if you want to sell Dubai properties, then you have to form the company in Dubai mainland and get the BRN and ORN, as I mentioned, to tie up with the major developers.
Now it's time for the most frequently asked questions. So the most important one, what's the cost?
So the cost completely depends upon what business activity you are choosing. If you are choosing one activity, two activity, you are combining three different activities in your real estate license, the cost will depend on that. But typically, mostly investors are choosing buying and selling brokerage. So that will typically start from 30,000 dirhams.
Okay. And is there any examination required?
Well, there is no exam. After COVID, the exam which was supposed to be held by RERA is abolished. Now there is an external approval required, which I covered earlier as well. We just need to get this approval without any exam.
Well, another important thing, what's the time frame for getting the license?
The time frame, it is like 3 to 4 days. 1 day it will take to do the trade name, initial approval, MOA and Ijari. And there can be one more day just to get the external approval. Third day you will have your license.
Okay. And as a second step, what would be the time frame for the visa?
The visa process completely depends. You are choosing a normal process or a VIP process. If you are choosing a normal process, then it will take 7 to 10 days to get you the visa. If you are choosing a VIP process, then we can finish it in 2 to 3 days.
Like any other license in UAE, there are options to choose between sole establishment and LLC. Is it the same for the real estate license?
Absolutely, it is the same. You can choose your legal type depending upon the number of shareholders. You can go public joint stock company, you can go PGSC. So there are options, yes.
real estate being a wide spectrum, there are variable activities offered, right? Being it construction, etc. So what would be the different activities under real estate?
There are many activities under real estate. As I mentioned to you, there is real estate consultancy, there is self property management, there is property management for other owners, there is a real estate buying for yourself, portfolio management. So I can put all these under the caption of the video, and the investors can look for those activities.
Now, cherry on the cake, the golden visa. Now, most of the real estate agents are well aware of and experienced with how to sell the properties, right? But somewhere they're confused about the golden visa. What's your take on that?
Exactly. So the most of the real estate agents who are forming the companies in UAE are coming new to the country. So they are well aware how to give the property portfolio for their clients who are also coming from their home countries, whether it's Europe, whether it's India. So they're well aware that what exactly they need to pitch to their clients, but often they are confused about the golden visa part. So for the golden visa, as per the rules and regulations of land department, if you have property worth 2 million, you are eligible for the golden visa. Saying that 2 million does not mean that it is completely mortgaged to the bank. As per the rules, your property should be paid up minimum of 1 million dirhams to be available, to be eligible for the golden visa. One more thing which is often getting confused between the investors, even the off-plan property owners are eligible for the golden visa, and as Vanguard we are helping you to get the golden visa as well.
Well, that's all about real estate license in UAE. Thank you for sharing such valuable information. Thank you for joining us today. To know more, follow us on our social media handles and contact us through our website.